Good evening. Welcome to the March 12th, 2024 City Council meeting. The meeting is hereby called to order. Members of the public may attend the City Council meeting in person or may watch and listen remotely by viewing the meeting on Channel 8 WCTV and at the city's website at www.wayzata.org/WCTV. Public comment during the public forum and/or public hearing portions of the meeting may be provided in person at the meeting in advance or by logging into the Zoom call and raising your hand during the public hearing. When your name is called in the meeting, you will be seen and heard in our council chambers and the cable channel. You will be asked to unmute and then you may begin your comment. All public comments must include your full name and address. That is the first item this evening. Our second is the Pledge of Allegiance. I would ask everyone to please stand and follow along. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Our next item on this evening's agenda is the roll call. All members of the council are present with the exception of Councilmember Iverson, who was called away for this evening's meeting, but her absence is excused. Next item is to approve the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as is, or would anyone care to make any changes?
I'll move to approve the agenda as is, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been first and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes, which takes us to our next item, the public forum. As a reminder for those members of the public who are in attendance this evening and who are interested in speaking, please state your name, address, indicate if you are representing a group, and we ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. If the item you wish to speak about is something that is on our agenda, for those that are in person, we ask that you please fill out a form at the back of the room located on the table, and fill it out and hand that to staff. For those that are watching via Zoom, please send a note via the chat function to staff. Let them know what agenda item you'd like to speak about. And we will also require that your camera is turned on when you speak. So we have a couple of things in our public forum for discussion this evening. Our first item is a recognition of service for community members Jim and Robin McWethy, owners of Sun and Slope Clothing Outfitters. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to ask Jim and Robin McWethy to come up to the podium, please. We'd like to have them come up just isolated by themselves so we can keep them guessing as to what we're going to do next.
It's torturous. All right, wonderful. Well, I'd like to say a few words and then I'll turn it back over to Jeff. And then I would invite Jim and Robin to say a few words after that. Then we also have a couple of surprises for you. So, after more than 5 decades of dedicated service and retail excellence in the Lake Minnetonka region, Jim and Robin McWethy are embarking on a new chapter as they prepare to retire and bid farewell to their beloved Wayzata establishment, Sun and Slope. Since the 1970s, Robin and Jim have been pillars of the Wayzata and Lake Minnetonka communities. Their unwavering support and affection for Wayzata have left a mark on the hearts of many. Jim and Robin's contributions extend beyond the realm of commerce and running a very successful local business. Both Jim and Robin have also been very active volunteers, and Jim having served on the Wayzata Parks and Trails Board from 2015 to 2020. We extend our deepest gratitude to them for their decades of service, and we wish them the very best in their well-deserved retirement. Congratulations. Jeff?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And Jim, regarding your service on the Parks and Trails, you really were a pioneer on that group, so we really do appreciate that. In recognition, we have a memento that we're going to present to you shortly. For your time spent serving the city on that important group. We also have a certificate of recognition that the mayor is going to present to you as well. For both, to both Robin and Jim, just, running a very successful and servant-minded business for so long, serving the community in different ways, the volunteer events. I appreciate both of your guys' humor. It's very self-deprecating, and I love that. But, again, they're tokens. They don't do you guys justice, but I hope you'll take it as a symbol of just how much we, staff, council, and the community really appreciate you. So, but I know that you have some interesting and really colorful photos that we want to highlight for you, that you have the clicker that you're going to present. And then after you go through those, Jim and Robin, and say a few words, we'll officially present those mementos to you.
There we go.
Where should I start? I'm sorry. We've enjoyed every minute of it, and if you would indulge me, I'd like to turn the tables a little bit and just say that on behalf of retailers in Wayzata and brick and mortar business, I would like to thank you, the council, the city staff, for all you have done to support retail, Wayzata business, and in so many ways over the years, and your support for the chamber and for us as a business has been overwhelming. Not just the yearly things, but the yearly events have been a big part of it. Your support of the Chili Open and when we have it, and the art fair and J.J. Hill. I mean, that's a tremendous strain on Wayzata resources, and you do so much for us, Mike, with Public Works and the police and the fire, to support those events, which help all of us and help the community too. But not just the yearly events, but over the 53 years that we've been here, the projects, the construction, the bridges, the park,
Panaway.
excuse me, the Panaway, that's the word I was trying to think of, the Panaway, the Lake Walk. For us personally, the ramp behind us was a huge benefit. It's helped our business greatly, and your support of all those things over the years, over 53 years, has been much appreciated. So we'd like to thank you, Wayzata Council, staff, for everything you've done for us and for Wayzata Retail. I think I can speak on behalf of the chamber that most retail, not all retailers, but most retail and Wayzata business have been solidly behind all your efforts. So thank you very much. I asked if I could put together some slides, just a few slides tonight that have memories, just a handful, but memories for Robin and I over the years, over the 53 years. I'll go very fast. I only have 8 of them, and I know you have other business to attend to, but the one that I'm showing right now goes back to the very beginning, winter of 1971, 72. our very first half-price sale. You can see it was quite successful. These are the people waiting in line. A half-price sale back in those years was something unusual. It's not anymore, but we've done it every year, twice a year, both in the fall and in the spring to make room for merchandise for the coming season for us. And but the response these first few years, we had people that would sleep on the front porch of the old ski hut on Berry Avenue there. It was right behind Ted's Drug at the time, and Ted was our landlord. And so people would sleep 2-3 nights on the front porch and to be first in line to get in there. So the next slide, there was a company in a promotions company that did full page advertisement package for. They put together a package of Time, Newsweek, Life magazine, and Sports Illustrated, regionally, not nationally, but we did a full page ad. The tagline on the ad was, "If you have the kids, we got the gear." And you couldn't get away with this liability-wise anymore these days, but it was fun, and the ad was pretty successful for us.
I imagine they were all probably future members, Ski Jammer members,
A
right?
number of these kids were ski jammers. They were also Wayzata youth teams also. There's you might see some of the hockey jerseys, Wayzata youth hockey jerseys and so on. But
That's great.
yeah, a lot of parents and grandparents remember being in this photo back in the early days, 1970s. Let's move on to 1982. Who knows what happened in 1982? Becky?
Chaos.
Chaos, yeah. It's hard to say, to see in the photo here, but in the very upper right-hand corner, just to give you a little orientation on it, that's the depot. You can see the roof line of the depot, way up in the up in here. But this was Gridlock Supreme in Wayzata. The chamber hired Lamont Cranston Band to do a 4th of July street dance. And people came from everywhere, and it completely locked down the city. Traffic wouldn't move. They say upwards of 20,000 people were there, and I apologize for the photo. I just took a photo of a lake, the Sun newspaper's photo, but it was memorable. We never did it again. But in the band's defense, they put on a pretty good show. It was a lot of fun. I mentioned J.J. Hill. This is the Dierks Bentley Band. They came in on the day before their show. It was an unusually warm September, and on the day before the show, they were just kind of walking through Wayzata, getting a feel for the town and everything. They came into our store, and the lead guitarist in the back there saw our, what do you call the hats?
Mad Bomber.
The Mad Bomber hats, and this guy was from Alabama, and he couldn't conceive of ever being cold enough to where he would wear something like that or be required to wear something like that. And so I said, listen, if you'll wear that tonight for your performance, I'll give you the hat. And he asked Dierks if he could, Dierks is in the front there, if he could do that, and Dierks said, well, okay, if it's important to you to do it. So he did wear it only for one song, but it was still almost 90 degrees at showtime, and he couldn't stand to wear it much longer than that. than that, but that was kind of a fun thing during J.J. Hill days. Being in business in Wayzata, we're not immune to things like this. This was a security camera. This shows 3 shoplifters coming into the store. We had, seriously, they had been in our store before, so we didn't wait for them to take stuff. We basically just stayed with them like glue. They were obviously they knew that we were knew who they were and what they were doing, and they left shortly after that. But that's a fact of retail all across the United States. Do you ever swim in Lake Minnetonka?
Not anymore.
This is one of our employees, Rhonda. She caught this muskie in Lake Minnetonka. It was within an inch or so of being a record, but it wasn't a record. But be careful if you bring your grandchildren down to the beach. She caught it in November. That's why she's dressed the way she is. But those things are out there. Be careful.
Wayzata doesn't allow those in our base, so maybe elsewhere, but they're not allowed. We've determined they're not allowed here.
She wouldn't tell us what bay it was in, so we'll say it was not Wayzata Bay.
Sounds good.
This sport that we have been promoting for 53 years, one of the sports that we have spent a lot of time trying to talk our community into was skiing and snowboarding, an exhilarating, fun winter activity, exhausting, so exciting. And for those of you who don't ski, I just wanted to show you a picture of what this wonderful sport is like. There. This is a lift line in Utah after a snowfall. It was over an hour long to get on the lifts. So if you don't ski, this is what the sport is all about. Last slide is there's some work going on. Mike, I don't know what it is down at the Nature Center, but Nature Center's kind of been neglected for years, but I just wanted you to know that Robin and I made good use of it. We got married in the Buckthorn in 2010 in the Nature Center, so it has good memories for some people. And so that's just a little tour of some of the things that have been memorable for us in the 53 years. And Robin and I would just like to thank you guys. Thank you all for all your support and all you've done for the city and for us too, and for the chamber and for retail. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been really great, fabulous.
Mayor, it's classic Jim and Robin that they would turn a recognition for them to us and then make it very
As our
humorous
past.
as well.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we do have some prizes for you here. So this is on behalf of the entire city, and especially the council and staff, your neighbors. Thank you so much for your 53 years dedicated to providing superior retail experiences, memories, and certainly community for everyone. So thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you so
And
much.
Jim, for you, this additional memento is for your invaluable service and work and volunteerism to the city, and specifically on the Parks and Trails Board. So, thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Congratulations, enjoy retirement, and I hope I'll see you up in the Northwood soon.
Sounds good. At the
you, guys.
trestle.
I think we'll take some pictures. Did you get some? Oh, perfect. Okay, wonderful, thank you. have to make sure if we don't already have those pictures, that the Historical Society has those as well. That would be great. All right, have a great night. All right. So we have one person who submitted a slip in the public forum, and I'd like to invite that person up, and that is Mary Bader. Good evening.
Thank you, Mayor, council members, staff. Thank you and good evening. I'm here tonight to ask you to pass a resolution for a ceasefire and humanitarian aid in Gaza, a symbolic resolution to get the attention of the people who represent us in the federal government. In 3 minutes, I cannot review all the reasons that we need a ceasefire and humanitarian aid, but I trust you have all been watching and reading the news since October 7th. That was when some 1,154 people were killed in Israel and 240 were taken hostage by Hamas militants. I abhor and condemn that crime. However, in revenge, the Israeli army has killed more than 31,000 Palestinians so far. Most of them were innocent children and women, and that's not counting thousands of others who are still buried under buildings in Gaza that the Israelis have destroyed. Among the survivors of the bombings are thousands of children with severed limbs, and now others are dying of starvation daily. All of this is paid for by us, American taxpayers like you and me. We are complicit in this. That is why I believe it is appropriate for my local city council to take action. More than 71 American cities, including Chicago, Minneapolis, St. Paul, have passed resolutions calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. In Minnesota, the city of Hastings took the lead, passing a resolution on January 16th, 2 months ago. The city of Columbia Heights has also passed a ceasefire resolution, and other municipalities are considering doing so. Wayzata is a city filled with leaders, starting with you. And so tonight I'm urging you to demonstrate our city's moral leadership and pass a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire and humanitarian aid in Gaza. Our United States government is complicit in whatever Israel does in Gaza. We are the arsenal of the ongoing atrocity, the enablers of what the International Court of Justice has called a plausible genocide. Ever since I read about and understood the unspeakable crime of the Holocaust that took place in Europe during World War II, that's when I was born, I have tortured myself with the question of what would I have done had I lived in Germany then? What kind of good German would I have been? Recently, I saw a handwritten sign that read, "If you wonder what you would have done during the Holocaust, your answer is what you are doing now." After the Holocaust, Americans joined the victims of the Holocaust in shouting, "Never again." Now the righteous message is never again for anyone. I, you, we must do something. I leave you tonight with a draft of a resolution for a ceasefire and humanitarian aid and a plea that you will pass it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have I'm sorry, Ms. Bader, did you say you have a copy of a resolution
I do.
prepared? Then maybe you could hand it to staff.
I was going to.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. So at public forums, we don't consider new business as part of the forum. And in this topic specifically, in our focus as elected leaders of Wayzata is to focus on issues within the city. However, what I will do is I will have a conversation with the city manager and with other members of the council as well on this issue or other issues pertaining to this, and we can have a further discussion on that. So I'll follow up with the city manager on this
Absolutely.
issue, and if you could take a look at the resolution as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, do we have anybody on Zoom that would like to speak as part of the public forum?
Madam Mayor, we do have somebody on Zoom, but they haven't indicated their interest in commenting. We have been having a little bit of a technical issues, so I think we're good right now. We'll just make sure we circle back towards the end of the meeting if they actually did want to speak.
Technical issue with Zoom?
Yeah, it's been going in and out,
Okay,
AV stuff. So.
all right. Thank you. If anything comes up where somebody would like to speak about a particular issue, if you would just call it to my attention, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right. So that brings us, having concluded the public forum, onto new agenda items. This is an opportunity for the council to bring up any items that they would like to address at a future meeting. Does anybody like to bring up an item for consideration? No? All right. We will move on to the consent agenda. On this evening's consent agenda, we have a number of items. We'll go ahead and read through those. First, we have approval of the City Council regular meeting and workshop meeting minutes of February 6, 2024, and the workshop minutes of February 20, 2024. We have approval of the check register, approval of municipal licenses, approval of proposal with Northland Mechanical Contractors, Inc. for $15,812 for HVAC filters for the Muni building. Award of contract to Bituminous Roadways, Inc. for the 2024 Mill and Overlay Project. Award of contract to Allied Blacktop Company for the 2024 Seal Coat Project. Award of contract to Pipe Services for 2024 Sewer Televising Project. And no, that is not to watch the sewer on cable TV. Correct? Okay, good. Just making sure. Award of contract to JL Tice Inc. for Broadway Avenue Traffic Signal Replacement Project. Award of contract to Odessa 2 LLC for Belcourt Reconstruction Project. Authorization to solicit bids for the Mill Street Parking Ramp Access Project. And lastly, authorization to solicit bids for the water meter replacement project. Council, do any of you have any questions related to any of these items or wish to pull one of them for further discussion? Yes, Councilmember Parkhill.
Item H. I would like to know some more color about the temporary lighting. How long would this project take? How long would we be paying $93,000 for a temporary service? And is there a way around that potentially with a four-way stop? And I guess you may want to defer this to somebody else, but.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Parkhill, Madam Mayor. Director Kelly would be the best person to respond to that question.
Thank you. Councilmember Parkhill, Madam Mayor. As part of most of our projects, there are items that we like to include just in case. The temporary signal is one of those items. In our specifications for the project, we've called out that we really don't want work to start on the overall project until all of the equipment is received and ready to be installed, which hopefully will minimize the amount of time that that intersection would be impacted. But having a bid item for the temporary signal is usually cheaper than doing a change order for a temporary signal. That's why we have it. At the end of the day, we'll work with the contractor to provide the most streamlined project, and if the temporary signal is unnecessary, we won't pay for it.
As we all know, that $93,000 could be used in a lot of places.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thanks for that clarification. I thought everybody would appreciate that. Okay, on the Mill Street ramp parking access, number J, or item J, we are approving a study to be done to solve the problem, or are we approving one of these options in the book?
Councilmember Parkhill, Madam Mayor, we're approving one of the options and ultimately moving forward with construction.
Okay. So we are, okay.
Yep.
And
Sorry, pardon me.
Yeah.
So this is just for bids. We're not approving a solution. We're just going up for bids.
If I could interject.
Yes, please.
Last year, council authorized us to put together a study for options on how we may be able to control access to the parking ramp, specifically the upper deck in this particular case. We received that report. We've reviewed the report with the manager and the chief of police and feel that the best solution moving forward would be one of the options in that report, which is a controlled access for the upper deck. What we're asking for is the ability to put together a set of plans and put that out for bid. At the end of the day, it would still come back to council for ultimate consideration. So we're not asking to build it yet, but we're looking to put together the plans, put it out for bid, get real numbers, and come back to you with those.
Understood.
At that time, you could decide whether or not go or no go.
Thank you. No, that makes sense.
so my one question about that is, I'm assuming Chief Schultz has been involved in all those discussions.
Absolutely.
Okay, because I would think he'd be the one most interested. My last comment is on item I, and the Bell Courts, and I wanted to thank Mr. Greger for all his comments and work related to that. He has sent in many comments related to those courts, and I guess I would just applaud community involvement in general in things like this. We found it very, very helpful with the docs to get community input. And so I really appreciate Mr. Greger for stepping up and giving us some advice. I know we're taking things one step at a time with some of the things he suggested, and I think that's a good way to go. But, you know, I really appreciate his commentary and is willing to help us make it better. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. Great comments and great questions as well. Any other questions from the council of staff? I have one. Yes, Councilmember McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. My question is in regards to the traffic signal. I think it's probably safe to assume, but maybe I thought it would be best to ask, is that traffic signal going to be similar aesthetically to what is there or the new ones that we already have? Can you give us a little visualization of it for?
Yeah, absolutely. Councilmember McDonald, Madam Mayor, Council. Our attempt with the Broadway Avenue traffic signal is to marry it up aesthetically with what was installed at Wayzata Boulevard and Superior Boulevard, so that the two look the same or similar. Similar structures. They're working on the mics. I keep getting texts on the
Okay.
microphone I have.
I'm like, I hear you, I don't hear you.
They're playing with it.
Okay.
Um,
Sometimes I feel I'm too loud, so
and I'm trying not to get too close,
Okay.
because it'll jump up.
Appreciate it, thank you.
But we're trying to marry it aesthetically with the one at Superior Boulevard. What you will see functionally is a change from the pedestrian push buttons that are on the main pole to directly adjacent to each of the crosswalks, which make them much easier to get to and safer. So really aesthetically, it'll be closer to Superior Boulevard. And as you saw in the, I think in our packet, we are also planning on installing a bump out on the south side of Wayzata Boulevard to shorten the crossing.
That'll be nice. Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
Fantastic. I think those are all the questions from the council. So would someone care to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, that motion passes. And we will then move on to our next item, which is a public hearing. And that item is for us to consider approval of on-sale intoxicating and Sunday on-sale intoxicating liquor licenses for Guac On Inc., DBA Pura Lima, located at 740 Lake Street East. City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Great name, one of the best I've seen in a while, Guac On.
Guac.
So tonight's agenda item is for a public hearing, so after the presentation, Mayor and Council will need to open the public hearing, open up to anybody who wants to provide feedback, and then ultimately close it and then make the decision, or discussion and decision. So just a quick background on this item. As we do for all liquor license, they are required to go through this process. Pura Lima applied for an on-sale intoxicating and Sunday sales liquor license at 740 Lake Street East. If you remember, that was Stock and Spade, and then before then the Starbucks that was on Lake Street. The just general city process when we go through a liquor license, full liquor license, is to review and approve a site plan, then do a really intense and thorough background check, and then go through the public hearing process just to make sure that the community, that everyone's feedback is heard. So we've done that, and basically just in a nutshell, high-level overview of the application. The restaurant has seating for 38 indoors and then 30 outdoor. Most of the outdoor seating is on the patio on the rear of the building, kind of towards the lake and the train tracks. There are a few outdoor seating spaces in the front of the building on Lake Street on private property. It's in the downtown location, obviously in our downtown core, and this use is consistent with zoning. The patio areas, condition of approval will require the area to be that is outside and that is where serving of alcohol is happening will need to be cordoned off. The business is proposing that the hours of operations of just the business in general is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. I mentioned we have to conduct, or we conduct a background check. That check was found satisfactory. There was no red flags or anything like that. And then ultimately the applicant did pay the license fee that goes along with this process. Next slide is just a high level kind of reminder of the location. You can see the area towards Lake Street is where it's right on the street, but there is a little area for seating, and then the back patio area towards the back end parking lot and train tracks. The next slide is just a more detailed, this is in your packet, but just to highlight, just a more detailed floor plan of the building, as well as the outdoor patio seats on the that really bookend the building. So that's pretty much it. Probably a little bit more straightforward than previous applications, but I'm here to answer any questions that the council has. Deputy Chief Baker is also here just in case you have any public safety related questions. And I know the applicant's here to answer any questions that you have as well.
Great, thank you. Council, any questions of staff? So my understanding is there's, this is just for the liquor license, but there's no, the use is kind of the same but different, right? It's a food establishment, be it Starbucks, Stock and Spade. Predominantly that was indoor service for those, although they did have outdoor space. There's no expansion of any kind. Anything of that sort.
That's correct. It's the same footprint both inside and out as Stock and Spade.
Okay. But this is the first time the location has had a liquor license, correct?
So that's correct, yeah.
Okay. So while definitely not something, that is under consideration today, it is definitely something that I think we want to be aware of, that the patterns of the comings and goings of patrons is going to be very different at a Starbucks than it is ultimately at a sit-down restaurant with full-service alcohol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yep.
Okay. So how will, is just something that staff will manage based on feedback received
Yeah, Madam Mayor, staff will manage that. Ultimately, it's been reviewed for zoning and it's compliant. The property owner of Pura Lima does own all the adjacent properties to the east, and then we have that shared parking area in the back. So depending on how, activity works, especially, as we move on into the warmer months and things get busier, there likely will be some conversations with the property owner just to make sure that things are moving appropriately and we're all able to manage that well. But the good news is here is that all the affecting properties really are owned by one property owner.
Yeah, it's a wonderful space. I'm so glad it's going to be filled again, but it's just tight. It is tight.
Yeah.
It is tight, and it's going to take some management, especially of where staff is parking and making sure we don't encroach on it's the summer months without the outdoor seating. If that's being used, and we certainly hope it is, that we're not encroaching on our neighbors and taking their parking.
Yeah, and that and just public safety access. I know I was just talking to Chief Schultz and Deputy Chief Baker today, just ensuring that we have appropriate public safety access back there. There's a gate there now, so there's going to be more conversations with the property owner in the future.
Okay, fantastic. All right, well, we are in public hearing, so I will go ahead and open up the public hearing and wait for anybody to come forward. Do we have anybody online who would like to speak as part of the public hearing?
We do not, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Seeing that we don't have anybody here on site who would like to speak on this issue, I will go ahead and close the public hearing, and I will bring it back to the council. Council, any thoughts on the matter? Any questions, again, of staff?
I have one.
Yes, Councilmember McDonald?
Thank you, Mayor. Just to follow up on that last thought about a quick mention of the chain, is that what is blocking?
I think it's a gate right now.
Gate.
Yeah.
Any conversations with the building owner to have that removed so there's more parking accessible to those customers and they don't end up in neighboring businesses' parking lots?
Great question, Councilmember McDonald. We haven't had any recently. We did have it as more of a conversation when we were considering a new use for the old Fit Space building, what is now Timber and Tulip. But obviously, I think more fluidity in that area would be beneficial for everybody. So I think it warrants conversations now that we have a new business and we want them to be as successful as possible.
Because the only way to access those parking spots is through the plaza, right?
Correct, yep.
So, okay. I'll be curious if the applicant has spoken to their landlord.
Can you talk a little bit closer?
Sorry, I just thought if the applicant comes up and speaks, I'd be curious if they've had that conversation with their landlord.
Yeah, and then, it does, the way it's currently configured is a pinch point. And Director Kelly, you'll have to refresh my memory. We discussed it as a council. I think we spoke with, it was brought forward that even we had considered removing some on-street parking to allow for better visuals of vehicles if you're trying to come out of that parking lot. And that was back when it was Starbucks. So I don't know how traffic patterns and change. I guess suffice it to say, it has nothing to do with the liquor license, but I think it is something we are going to have to be very cognizant of, work very closely with the business and the building owners. And if we're seeing some difficulties in figuring out how to partner and solve those issues. Okay, perfect. Would the applicant like to come forward and make any comments? Or you don't have to. Perfect, thank you. We love color.
Thank you so much.
If you could please introduce yourself with your name and address.
I will. My name is Lily Phillips, and my business address is 740 Lake Street East. Thank you for having us here tonight. Love seeing your familiar faces. I am the co-founder of Pure Lima and representing Guacon LLC tonight. Pure Lima is fast casual restaurant that's serving build your own tacos, burritos, bowls, salads, and secondary to that, we will have a margarita program. The margaritas will be made in the back of the house in a large batch into a keg and then are portioned accordingly. So we won't have open liquor bottles where people are making cocktails one by one, and the variation of the amount of liquor varies per drink. So I thought that that would be important to note, that they are kind of a one size fits all, and there's no open liquor bottles, and it's not an open bar. The other thing is that we will, of course, enclose all of the patios where liquor will be served, and the most current plans that have been submitted to the city that are up for consideration, the door out to the patio has now been moved so that it will go on to an enclosed portion as well. So there won't be a situation where people will come out of the main doors into the parking lot and then back onto the patio. So we've made it so that they stay within the parcel if they do have a drink. And then, yes, like Jeff mentioned, 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week. And I think that's probably all I have to say for now, but I wanted to mention how they were actually made.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's helpful from my perspective. Any questions of the applicant? No? Well, very exciting. I know we kind of had a little false start there with the concept and location ultimately, but here we are, and very excited to see the concept come to fruition. I've never heard of making the badge cocktails into kegs and serving those out, so
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
I think
Assuming this passes, I'm not,
yeah.
of course.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate the time that it's been throughout this process. I think the extra time allowed for us to really perfect what this concept was going to be. It's actually very different than the original concept. So totally new name, totally new menu, all of that. So we're excited. We're currently open in the North Loop of Minneapolis, and it's been well received. It's kind of become a staple in that community. So we're hoping it to now bring it to our backyard here in Wayzata.
Well, you've done amazing work, well, the company overall, right, with
Thank you.
Crispin Green, and I know that there's some affiliation there between the two, and have been great, a great addition to the city of Wayzata, and kind of the flagship store.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's good things, good things. Love the creativity. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Please feel free to take a seat. So I'll bring it back to council. Any discussion about the application?
No real big notes, just that looking forward to it being open. I've had a preview from the North Loop location, and excited to have it as another option in town. So we'll vote to support this ask for the license.
Thank you, Councilmember McDonald. Councilmember Fleckish, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have any problem with this. So the one little question I had was answered when the owner stepped forward about the patio out front, but perfectly fine with that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well.
Wonderful, thank you. And Councilmember Parkhill?
I have nothing further to add. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you. I do like the alterations that you indicated, and people don't have to walk. It was a little clunky to go from the door to the back of the building there, and that control of, you know, if you're walking out with a cocktail, or I don't know if it's going to be kind of seat yourself with a cocktail or if it'll be wait service, but nice to keep it a nice steady flow for that. So thank you for that. Okay, seeing that there are no other questions, may I have a motion to approve the on-sale intoxicating? Well, I'm going to ask for clarity, please. I think I'd like a motion, and maybe City Attorney, you can clarify for me. An on-sale, I'd like a motion to approve an on-sale intoxicating and Sunday on-sale intoxicating liquor license, correct? Including both?
Correct, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so I will go ahead and state the motion if somebody would like to actually be the one to make it. A motion to approve the on-sale intoxicating and Sunday on-sale intoxicating liquor licenses for Guac On Inc., DBA Pura Lima, located at 740 Lake Street East. Who will make that motion?
So move, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. Thank you very much. That takes us to new business. We only have one item under new business. And that is for us to consider approval of change order for the municipal solar installations. City Manager.
Excuse me. Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this item is brought to you as a result of some adjustments that staff is requesting that the council make in order to complete the solar installation and roofing project here, the City Hall campus. It's fairly a small adjustment, but this project's been going on for a while, so we thought it couldn't hurt, just given the nature of the request, and then also just providing a little bit of update as to where it is, just because it's long been a project that was initiative for the community, and we're happy to see it almost be complete. So we thought, what the heck, let's showcase a little bit and talk a little bit more about what we've accomplished thus far and what we're asking tonight. So just some real quick context. Originally, the solar installation project was approved by the city for almost all city facilities. So we have the City Hall campus, which really is composed of 3 buildings, fire, City Hall, and then the library. And then also we installed already solar on the Public Works facility and the Muni building. So that was all approved as one project back in 2022, late that year. Thanks to the recommendation by the Energy and Environment Committee. The overall goals of the project were to produce renewable and clean energy, of course, diversify city energy supply, become a community leader in sustainability, the educational opportunities we can offer the community and individual property owners that are interested in participating. Also, a big carrot in front of us was the estimated net financial savings of just north of $800,000 over a 25-year period. So fast forward a little bit, we made all the appropriate allocations in our CIP. Early 2023, we began moving forward with the project. Last year, the installations, as I mentioned before, were complete on Public Works and the Muni. And over the past couple months, we've had a lot of good progress, both with City Hall, Fire Station, and the library. Different about the City Hall campus, I'll just call it, is that while we were planned on installing solar, we also needed to update the roof. So we aligned the 2 projects, both the repair of the roof and the solar at the same time. And that was a previously budgeted project that's was ultimately planned for around this time. Where are we at now? As we were moving forward with the installation and finalizing the roof, the warranty company came out to the site and had indicated to both contractors, both the solar and the roof contractor, that additional enforcements were needed in order to have the appropriate warranty for the roofs. This was a surprise to us. It was a surprise to the contractors as well. So shortly after that, we met with all the parties involved and figured out a way, came up with a solution in order to move forward. That solution, or solutions, there are really 3. One is to move forward with what the recommendation is tonight and to approve a change order of just less than $14,000, so $13,882. Overall, the additional cost is about $60,000. However, after that meeting that I indicated, that amount can be reduced by contributions from the solar installer, by the roof contractor, and additional tax credits that the city can get back. So because of the equal contributions from the contractors and a 20,000-ish tax credit, our portion of the overage would be 13,882. So that's one of the alternatives. The next alternative that we discussed was to, in order to spend more than what was originally approved, we could reduce the amount, so the cost of some of the solar, and reallocate that cost to reinforcing the other parts of the City Hall campus. While that was great because it didn't include any more additional costs, it reduced the savings component of the solar, since we are ultimately having much less, especially on the fire department. So the net of that was actually worse than the original option because we were saving a lot less. The last option, of course, was to just continue as is and not get the warranty. And yes, the warranty is probably, hopefully it's something that we'll never need, but talking to Director Kelly, that's just something that we felt that was not an option or not a viable option, just given the scale of the roofing improvements and how long we expect them to last. We didn't feel comfortable with that option. And that's why we have the recommendation we have tonight, which is to move forward with the change order of $13,882. Total cost of the additional enhancements to the roofs is just a shade under $60,000, but thanks to the cooperation of the entities involved, the request tonight is just for $13,882. A lot there. Happy to answer any questions, and Director Kelly's been involved in this process and can answer any questions as well.
Thank you, City Manager. Before I get to my colleagues on the council and their questions, you mentioned additional reinforcement was needed per GAF, who does the warranty. Is that because they're flat roofs as compared to Public Works and the Muni operations that have pitched roofs?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The short answer is yes. It's a different.
Okay, that's all I need. I don't need
Different product. Yep.
an engineering explanation, thank you, because I won't understand it.
I wasn't going to give one. Short answer was yes.
Okay, perfect. I do have a couple of other questions. So GAF sent out a representative to inspect the roofs. We're okay at Public Works and the Muni, or do they not provide the warranty on those roofs?
Different style of roof. Again, GAF.
Is only for flat?
Correct.
Okay. Will they be coming back out to then officially sign off and say that everything was built according to their specifications in order to be able to receive the warranty?
Correct.
Yes.
Yes. Additional inspection will be done following this.
And they
additional
sign
work
off
approved.
and
Yeah.
say, we've done everything according to what they need?
Yes.
Okay. And the last question is, as part of this change order, or whichever change order we go with, I'm assuming the recommendation from staff, will we be documenting that we are paying these entities and they are in turn providing us a rebate of some kind? And has that been shared with the city attorney in terms of language that we need to include in the change order?
Madam Mayor, great point. We haven't yet, just because we want to make sure that they agree in the concept, but I think what would address that, because really we expect them to reimburse us, but in addition to the approval tonight, we'll need a little bit more details and what that looks like. So I would recommend that the motion is tweaked to authorize the city manager and the mayor to approve a change order for that amount. I think that would be better, but I'm happy to.
Okay, I just
entertain
want to
what
make sure that the change order includes language that we are getting reimbursed by these entities who are doing the work when these rebates come in for whatever specified amount. I don't remember the exact amounts, right? That this is essentially, we don't have to go chasing our,
We have leverage, yeah, exactly.
yes. City-
Yes, Madam Mayor and City Manager, I'm fine with that. Did you mean subject to city manager and city attorney working that out?
If you would prefer that way. Yes, absolutely, I did.
Rather than the
He's
mayor?
much more skilled.
Yeah,
at
The
it
mayor
than I.
ultimately has to sign, right, so.
That's true. Would you like my assistance, Madam Mayor, with that?
If you would be so kind to
I would,
provide your
yes.
assistance, yes, please. All right, lovely. Any other questions from the colleague, or from my colleagues? No?
I'm good.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you. I know that this was part of the consent agenda. I just thought that, I mean, we talked a lot about these different issues over time, that it was important to kind of parse out what had transpired and be really clear on that. So thank you for doing that. All right, so would someone please make a motion authorizing the city manager, city attorney, and mayor to work with, let's just leave it city manager and attorney, city attorney, to draft and
Execute.
Execute a change order? Yeah.
Okay, so city manager and city attorney to execute a change order for $13,882 with Blue Horizon Energy and Mint Roofing for municipal solar.
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been first and seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That motion passes. All right, it takes us to our last item this evening, and that is the city manager's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. A couple of quick things. Excuse me, just Panaway update, a lot going on between now and Memorial Day, which is our goal of when we open the Lake Walk. This week and the following few weeks, you'll notice a lot of work being done on the actual Lake Walk itself, above the planks that are out there now. The railings and the decking will start, so it's really going to come together, which is really exciting. Shouldn't take too long, about 6 weeks, I believe. So that's exciting. The docks will be, I believe, installed generally at the same time. We've had great luck with Mother Nature, obviously, so the contractor isn't going to have to break ice or navigate around ice, which is will make it go by quicker even. So we're on time and we're on budget at this point. So and we're pretty dang close to the finish line. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to get there. So it's been kind of a lull over the past month or so. So you'll start to see some more action out there shortly. Couple dates coming up. April 11th is the city's State of the City dinner. I'm going to start with a happy hour and then address by Madam Mayor. Trying it differently this year. Last year we had a kind of a mini State of the Cities as a part of our kind of city showcase event. Thank you. I was going to say open for business event. That's not it. Something else. And I think we're going to have more of a captive audience this way. So I look forward to it, and I think in future years it can expand even more. But it's really for community members that are residents, businesses that are really focused in Wayzata. We also are doing the panel for the chamber. That includes some other communities and is a little bit more business focused. This is really geared towards the residents. So looking forward to that. Every address in the city got an invite, and we've gotten a lot of RSVPs so far. So really looking forward to that. So that's on the 11th from 4 to 6. And then on April 18th will be our local Board of Appeal and Equalization hearing. So evaluation notices for next year are coming out on May 13th. So folks should see those over the next week, essentially.
March.
March 13th, sorry. So all residents that are out there, or property owners, look forward to those. And we have a little bit more time this year between when you'll get your notice in the mail and the actual hearing itself. So overall valuation increases are a lot lower than they have been in the past. So I'm guessing the actual hearing itself will be a little bit different than the last few years.
And the great part is with that additional time, people, when they receive their notice, if they have any questions whatsoever, they should reach out to the county assessor right away so that they can have those conversations and plan accordingly. And the other thing is for those people who are out of town, the county has indicated that those notices, that the information that's on the notice that you'll receive in your mailbox will be available online starting March 15th. So if people are still snowbirding it, although it's not really necessary with the 67-degree weather we're having, but if they haven't made it back yet, they can certainly look online, get a hold of the county if they have any questions before they're back on Minnesota soil.
Exactly, and stay tuned to our website. We'll have some more details about just that process.
Great.
Want to give a shout out, excuse me, props to Mike, Director Kelly and Public Works. It's been a warm winter, obviously, so they're catching up on other things. If you haven't noticed, the memorial benches all around town are getting cleaned. The streets are swept. Swept. Thank you.
Sweeped.
Boy, can we erase that? Can we go back? Do we have an editor at all?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Should know this. I've only been.
This
Yeah, I said streets.
sweeping. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We'll go with
So
that.
thanks, Public Works, and just being proactive and serving our community that way. Lastly, I just want to recognize City Clerk Kathy Learvig and her team for running another really impressive, seamless election. City Clerk Learvig did this just while going through some family challenges. Yeah, so just we're thinking of her and can't wait for her to be back, but really appreciate her hard work given the circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Thank you. No, as always, City Clerk Learvig does amazing work. I never have to worry that we're going to have a big recall in town or anything else because it's so seamless and it's accurate. It's done just beautifully and incredibly professionally. You know, and she's not the only one. I mean, we received wonderful recognition from someone who doesn't live in the community, but whose parents moved to the community, and she was assisting her parents in coming to City Hall and getting some things transferred over, including getting registered to vote and through the election process or whatever they were doing at City Hall. I mean, it sounds like it was pretty involved, and just the accolades for the front desk staff and their helpfulness and their professionalism and their politeness was recognized. It was noticed and it was recognized. So, you know, my thanks, and I know the entire community is thankful for their hard work and professionalism as well. So, all right. Well, we have a busy couple of weeks ahead of us. So, a busy few weeks, but it's okay because the sun has been shining and the days are getting longer. We have a boardwalk that's just about complete, which I'm kind of giddy about. I'm getting there. It's been so long in the making.
Yep.
Here's the honest truth. I don't even go down there. I don't want to see it till it's finished. I want to keep it a surprise. I saw like the precast. Like, okay, I get a sense, but I want to see it in its full glory when it's done, and I know it's going to be absolutely beautiful and well received. And I know the community, as I keep getting questions, is it going to be done? Is it going to be done? And I keep saying Memorial Day, so I'm going to hold everybody who's working on it to that because I've said yes. So
We're on track.
I know. I'm very excited. I see some folks who maybe do some work on some of the pieces, and there was some whispering, but I know that they're saying Yes, Memorial Day is definitely doable. Perfect. Thank you for your support. All right. Anything else from any members of the council? No? Anything from staff? No? Then would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
So move, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. And a second.
Second.
Been first and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.